So now, having that said and done, what we want to do now is to account for this in dollar per megawatt hour. So we just take this and we divide it by the annual production per year. Reference, let's say we don't reference anything. We divide it by the annual production per year, that amount. So in this case, we can account for the cost in megawatt per hour. So now we want to estimate the EBITDA. EBITDA is going to be based on, is just a sum of the total revenue and the total expenses. So what we are actually doing here is we are actually deducting, we have all of our expenses in negative numbers. So the EBITDA is revenue minus our expenses. We take this all the way to the end of the project life, or ESF, business formulas to keep the borders in place, the formatting in place. So now we are now ready in this model to begin our depth sizing. First of all, we will begin first with our commercial operation date. So what we want to do here is we want to account for our maximum depth sizing, and we also want to account for the depth sizing per debt service coverage ratio. So we're going to be using the minimum of those two amounts to drive the opening balance that we will use later on to determine our interest that we're going to be paying as a result of this project. So what we want to do here is we want to reference the commercial operation date. We go to our assumption section, and we reference the commercial operation date, that is January 1st, 2020. And then going forward, we're gonna say date. Here we want to discount this to, we want these years to be equal to the 31st of every year. So we assign that, and then we go 12, 31st. It gives us automatically December 31st, 2020. Going forward, it's gonna be equal to date, the year, which it's gonna be this year. Now this time around, plus 1, the 31st, the 12th, that is December, and the 31st of that year automatically gives us 31st of December 2021. We can now take this all the way to the end of our projected project life. So we're going to be discounting this date to calculate our depth sizing. So to account for the number of days in this period is just going to be the difference between these two dates. We can take this called ESF. So now going forward, we are now ready to estimate our P50 EBITDA and P99 EBITDA. We recall that we had our energy probability here set up for the P50 EBITDA. So whatever we have done onto that point of EBITDA is based on this amount. So this is the production that drove revenue going forward. But for the P99, we have to recalculate it using the what if analysis in Excel. So we're gonna use the data tables in Excel to simulate whatever the P99 earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization will be. And also we can also look at this from a normal distribution point of view. So you can also look at this distribution of the P99, P75, P90, and P99 as from a normal distribution point of view. So you can look at it like what is the standard deviation of this power from the mean production. So we can always look at it that way. If we have any power production, say less than 50, which is very rare because this it is not a very risky kind of an investment, except in very, very worst scenarios, then we will need to calculate the probability, or we will need to estimate how that is different from the mean production. But in this case, we can just picture it like that. So the P50, our production for the P50, we already determined it, that's it here. But like I said, for the P99, we will determine that using our what if analysis data table calculation in Excel. So for the P50, we can just reference the EBITDA year. We can take this all the way to the end of the project life. I feel it right with Control R. But for the P99, going forward, we have to use the data table to simulate whatever the EBITDA will be. So I'll be doing that with you in the next video, hopefully.